I'm Lauren.
And I'm Lisa.
And we're flipping the script about growing older.
Our guests have been influencers since before that was even a thing. Welcome to the Anti-Aging Podcast.
Welcome to Age Like a Badass Mother.
Today we welcome the inimitable Joan Moran. My dear friend Joan is a motivational speaker, author, blogger, screenwriter, yoga teacher, tango dancer, world traveler, grandmother, and so much more. Joan published her first book, 60 Sex and Tango, Confessions of a Beatnik Boomer, in her sixth decade. She went on to publish 3 more books, including the critically acclaimed An Accidental Cuban, based on her travels to the enigmatic country in 2016. Just weeks shy of her 80th birthday, Joan is currently at work on her 5th book, a memoir she has written in her mother's voice called Suddenly I Was Jewish. Joan, there's so much more to say about you, but first let's start by saying hello.
Hello. Hello. How are you?
Did I get that right? 5 books.
I guess. I don't know. I don't count them.
Okay. All right. I'm counting for you. I didn't include the screenplays.
Yeah. Oh, no. The screenplays are another issue.
Okay.
My gosh. To look at you, I would guess you were like my age, like 55, maybe 60, but I know that's not true. So you're about to be 80. That's insane.
It is.
Okay.
Insane.
What is your favorite part about being this age?
I have no favorite parts. What could you find as a special part at this beginning of another decade?
Yeah, I mean, you truly are so unique, Joan, because most of the women I know your age are in a wheelchair or hunched over or asleep. And you make me tired because you have so much energy. And I'm like, I want to be like Joan when I grow up because you have more energy than anybody I know. You're creative still. You're doing all the things. Tell us your secret.
I have OCD. And it's not for everybody. And I certainly don't judge anybody who wants to watch movies in the afternoon when they're 80. I mean, come on, they deserve it.
Absolutely.
But I went to a shrink once, or many more than one. And he said, "What was your happiest age? When did it all when did you feel the best?" And I said, 19. Hey, 19, Steely Dan.
Right.
That's the way I feel. 19.
So you still feel 19?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Would you say not 19 with naps or 1919?
No, I mean, I felt that I was at Berkeley in the 60s, and I felt so powerful, including the day Kennedy died, which is when I was going to be my husband-to-be. He was at the law school. I thought this was so impactful to me, and I kept that energy the whole time. I think, and shortly thereafter is when my dreams got dashed because I wanted to get my PhD in theater. And my ex-husband said, "We're going to Vegas." And I went, "No, you're fun. I'm not going to Vegas. Why would I go?" I said, "You can get a job in San Francisco. Be the law firms everywhere." He said, "No, not really. I'll never make partner." And he said, "Jews don't make partner." And I said, "Come on, it's 1964. Get a grip."
But you ended up moving to Vegas, right?
I went there under duress. I didn't go for like 2 months. And I had the most incredible 18 years there. I still think that what I had to do to get to where I wanted to go was the lesson of life.
Yeah.
How did you learn there?
Well, the first thing I learned was endurance. The second thing I learned is that if the guys want to play sexual harassment at the Xerox machine at the Sahara Hotel, which is where I was working as the secretary to the catering director, this is how you parry those comments. You kind of scoot out of the way of that crap. You face it head on and you just laugh and say, "Aren't you adorable?" Yeah. And that was number one. Number two is get out of your bed and go back to school and get your degree. Nevada Southern University with 3 buildings on campus.
I'm Berkeley.
And I asked a simple question. I said, well, I'm a theater major, so I've done all that. So how many more semesters do I have to go? Oh, we don't have a theater major. So I said, what do I have the most of? And she said, history. And I went, that's it. I'm a history major with a theater minor. And I got my education courses, and I became a high school teacher. Drama. Best years with these kids. And then I got 2 master's degrees more because that university grew up like I grew up. We grew up together. And then glass ceiling time. Went to the president of the university, and I said, these guys won't let me direct on the main stage. And I said, I want to direct Paul Stills. I forget. It was an improv. It was an improv thing. And he said, well, I can't do anything about that. And he said, if you want to do anything with theater, anything more with theater, you should get off campus.
Okay.
And I said, okay. And then I went and raised money that following year and opened up my own theater a year later. Most of the money came from the mob.
Wait, are you joking?
No. Well, because my ex-husband and his partner represented the mob.
Wow.
So you're talking about the 60s. So women were still in the subservient housewife role. But Joan, who moved to Nevada, to Las Vegas, to support her husband's career, had something inside of her that enabled her, some characteristics, some set of values, something that enabled her to pursue what young Joan wanted for herself. That's pretty amazing.
The first thing is, I was raised by an incredible mother. My mother was my role model. She did everything she wanted to do in her life magnificently.
Wow.
And that's my memoir to her.
Wow.
The only thing she missed is telling me I was Jewish, but we got that straight.
I started reading it. I can't wait to get to that.
Yeah.
No one told me. It was ingrained in me. It was ingrained on me. Here's the irony. Yeah, I wanted to be a PhD. And I used to say, do 2 masters equal a PhD? And I went, oh, come on. You run your own theater. I did 5 seasons, all equity. Mm-hmm. It was astonishing. And the city never has done that again.
Wow.
It was amazing. My associate director was a showboy at the Dunes. I mean, it doesn't get any better than that.
So I have to ask you, and I think I know the answer to this question. So, hey, 19, what qualities as a 19-year-old do you still possess as an almost 80-year-old?
Fearless. I get no's probably more, and rejections probably more than anybody, because I put it out there, and I put it out there since I was 19, with all things. I said, oh, at 60, I said, oh, I'm going to be a yoga teacher.
You don't have a fear of rejection.
Well, my significant other, who was my producer partner, I went to film school also. I did that too. And I became a producer and then a screenwriter. But David used to say to me, hey, we could wallpaper our bathrooms with all the rejections we get. And we thought that was so funny. And it's like, he'd say, don't take it personally. I know, and I still don't when I get rejections. But when I get somebody who likes my work and gets it, then that's a payoff.
Yeah.
And if you don't, I mean, I'm still plugging away with all my stuff.
I mean, so many lessons, Joan, because you, like that example of you moving to Las Vegas is you took a situation and instead of looking at it as something that happened to you, it's something that happened for you.
Right.
Yes, absolutely. Everything happened for me. The other one is fortitude. You have to have resilience. And, I think of Roosevelt, there's nothing to fear but fear itself.
Right.
But that's hard for a lot of people, Joan. That's hard.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
But that's who I have passion for what I do. David, you said to me, you got to write a screenplay before you get out of film school. I don't know anything about writing a screenplay. He said, yeah, you do. You know a lot. Now write about what you know. I wrote a screenplay called Dusty Star. I was a Las Vegas showgirl who bagged money for the mob in the Bahamas.
How old were you?
In film school? I guess I had turned 40. it's a little murky in that area because I spent 2 years in La Jolla, in San Diego area, applying my trade as an actress on the boards and doing lots of dinner theater.
So you didn't write your first screenplay till you were 40 or 42. That's also like...
Oh, I mean, I was like drooling when I was in I loved it. It was always like, oh, does this work or does this work? And we didn't make it big. David did as a producer. He was the highest ranking Hispanic in Hollywood for years and years and years, in golden age of Hollywood. But it was cool. I mean, you cannot have unrealistic expectations. You just have to keep doing the work. Do I sit here and work on my projects and say, oh my God, this woman has my book, my latest book? And I went, yeah, but the joy was when, before I ever got through the pitch, she said, send it to me. That's the joy. Whether they take it or not, whether this agent takes it or not, I don't know. I'm not going to cry if they don't. It's a damn good book, and I have other publishers to go to.
Walk me through a day in the life of Joan Moran. What time you wake up, what you have for breakfast, what does your day look like?
I am extraordinarily disciplined. I cannot do what I do without discipline. And that's my mother. She would get out of bed, roll out of bed, do her floor exercises. So I wake up around 7 and turn on the news because I'm a news junkie, fix the coffee and go through all of that. But before I wake up, I plan my day. I say, am I going to the gym? Am I going swimming? Because I'm a lap swimmer. Am I going to walk around the neighborhood? Am I going to dance tonight? Which means I get to do steps and then more. I go through all of this. And am I going to go to my son's house? Am I going to see my grandchildren?
Do you already have a plan though? Like, I'm going to dance 2 days a week. I'm going to do yoga 3 days a week. I'm going to swim. No, I
don't put that on myself because my body's different every day. I always do the yoga. I always go through a whole little thing and I do those sun salutations and all of that. Sometimes I go through the whole program. And then I got weights. So I lift weights. I make a phone call to my best friend who lost her husband several years ago. And I call her every single day. That's the thing. Every single day.
Connection. That's so important.
I was just going to say.
That's it.
It's important to you.
Yeah. And my oldest friend, I'm going to see on Saturday. She lives in Sacramento. I knew she and I grew up on the same street. We knew each other since 3 years old. So I go there at least twice a year. My commitment to my friends that's why I went freaky with you, Lisa, when I couldn't find you.
Joan and I met. I had no idea how old you were. We were teachers at Maha Yoga together in the 90s. And I had no idea you were 60 already. I would have thought you were, maybe 10 years older than me. And I was in my 20s at the time.
Wow.
So my teacher training was with Max.
Yes.
So he went around the room. Why are you doing that? Why are you taking teacher training? I didn't know I wanted to teach. I just wanted to take the class. Gets to me and he said, why are you here? And I said, because I want to live forever. That's yoga.
I agree. I've been doing yoga since I was in my 20s, and I'll never forget, my teacher was probably in his 60s at the time. And he said, you are only as young as your spine is flexible. And that stayed with me. I'm 55 now. It stayed with me my whole life. It keeps me, it does everything for me. I don't know who I'd be crazy without yoga.
So it is, you're only as old as your spine. And that's true. What you said is true. And I believe it. So all that stuff during the day, and also I'm an avid swimmer. So I do a meditation when I swim. I cannot not be in the water for any more than 3 days. So
when you finish your day.
So after I do the exercise, and I usually do it all in the morning because I can't stand the thought of exercising in the afternoon. I don't know why. It's your rhythms. It's your body rhythm. So I go to my table, and whatever it is I'm going to do, I'm either going to write, or I'm either going to be looking for publishers and doing all the research for that, which is takes forever. I just had an analysis of my screenplay, Once a Homecoming Queen. It's about another one of my best friends, but it's a wish fulfillment thing. She was an alcoholic. So I'm very interested in addiction. I had my drug and alcohol counselor's certificate for years and worked with the vets in the Veterans Administration in LA. and I write about senior addiction in a book, and then I adapted that book to a screenplay. I love to write screenplays, number one, but I came to Austin to learn how to write fiction. Here's my analysis of my fiction. I'm a really good storyteller, fair to middle writer. And when there's humor, it works really well. When the irony comes into my writing, that's good. I had a terrific editor, a New York editor on the Homecoming. This is the book's called Once a Homecoming Queen. Mm-hmm. And I just, once again, gave somebody the screenplay who had really good, and I listened to everybody. And by the way, take your criticisms with joy, because when you turn that around, you listen to what that person says. I think anybody that I talk to who gives me criticism has been fabulous so far.
That's a really good tip. Yeah. So, but have you taken writing classes, been part of writing groups? What helps you to get it on the page?
I don't do groups.
I feel the same, Joan.
Oh gosh, in the 7.5 years I've been here at the Writers League, and I've gotten tremendous amount of great instruction from fabulous writers in Texas. And Texas grows writers. Texas is a writer's paradise.
Yeah, there are a lot of really good writers in Texas. That's true. It's all that oppression. People need
oppression. Okay, so after you do we haven't gone through her day, but what do you eat? What do you do at night?
So I try to I have to take my pills down, my supplements in the morning. So I got to eat something.
Okay, stop right there. So you don't take medication. You're talking about supplements.
Oh, yeah, supplements.
Oh, 8 years old, no medication.
No.
Okay. So what supplements
we
do you take?
We want to know what you eat.
I know. What the hell do you do, Joan? And if you guys are watching this on YouTube or wherever, you have to see Joan or Google.
Right. Exactly. We're going to get to that. Why does Joan look so beautiful and amazing?
Okay. Tell us what you take.
All right. The first thing I do. No, first I want to put it in some order here for people to understand. As I say, I'm really disciplined. It goes all the way back to my mother, who was a nutritionist. So I already knew what to eat when I was growing up, and what was good, what was bad, what I wanted to cheat on.
Well, but it was different then than it is now, isn't it? Wasn't it?
The food was not filled with pesticides.
Right.
Right. So it was not. So still no processed foods.
No, she didn't. No.
Yeah,
that would never be. But that was like if they went out Saturday night, I got mac and cheese or a chicken pot pie. That was my. But the thing about it is that I want to make sure I get in. I have some powders. I have the plant-based powders, and I also have a joint compound. So that I'm very careful of my joints. Mm-hmm. I have my espresso in my machine, or I have turmeric ginger tea, depending on how I am with allergies, and then take all the supplements. That's it. And then I get going. So when I get back, it's usually close to lunch. Now, don't laugh, but I eat an apple with peanut butter on it.
That's one of my favorite snacks.
I don't eat a lot, obviously. One thing I don't have is a very good smeller. When you don't smell, I discovered years ago, you don't have an appetite. Don't taste.
So, but when I saw you last in person, which was a while ago, you went through what you put in your green drink. It was like a lot of vegetables, some fruit.
Lettuce first, my joint compound. And then I put in fruit and flax seeds. That's it.
So that's breakfast, and then an apple and peanut butter for lunch.
Yeah. Then, I might have something in the afternoon if I get hungry. I eat early. I think there's a thing about eating early. Mm-hmm. I like to eat before 6:00. They call me old lady, but I don't care.
I like that too. And I really fight with my husband and friends about that. I think they think I'm an old lady because I like to be done eating by 6, 7 at the latest.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. It's kind of an intermittent fasting thing. Don't eat. This is why I do it. So then the next time I eat might be 8:00 in the morning or 7:30 in the morning. Mm-hmm. So that's all fast time.
What do you eat for dinner?
I eat salads and put everything in it. I can think of with the kitchen sink. Black beans, garbanzos, tomatoes, Persian, cucumbers, all that kind of stuff. I put in sometimes put a little pasta in, or some carbohydrates that.
What about a dressing?
I put some oil and some balsamic. I don't even mix it. I just dump it.
So plant slant, movement every day, spiritual practice, connection. Okay.
Part of the reason I dance every night is because I'm so not social all day. I go and have a blast. I have friends. They're just friends. They're not like I don't see them or talk to them, but they're there. And after 7 years of, hanging out at bars, I got them. I like.
But you hang out at bars to dance, not to drink. That's the difference.
Oh, no, I don't. I don't drink. No.
Yeah.
No.
So you don't drink at all.
No, I didn't say that.
Okay. Good.
No,
Good. That gives me a little relief.
I know you enjoy a good glass of wine here and there.
Yeah,
that I know.
I love my wine, and if it's good tequila, and I'm stealing it from my son at his house, I'll do good tequila.
Okay. And so you've always been healthy. Your mom was a nutritionist. And do you have a partner now? Do you have somebody in your life now?
No. I just dumped him.
You just dumped him.
Joan is a heartbreaker.
Joan, you're killing me. Okay, but so I saw you. I like saw some of your interviews, and you were talking about sex and how does sex change as you get older? I know your vag gets a little drier, but other than that, what?
Yeah. I just had got a lesson from a urologist yesterday about that the dry vag. I've never had that problem, which I don't know who to thank for that.
I know, right?
Yeah. As you get older, you must really take care of that. This is something I've just learned recently. I'm getting the UTI problem with older people. It's just like, oh my God, everybody's got a UTI and they're recurring. And what do you do about it? So I've explored and researched that, and I found myself a really good doctor that will explain this to me. So what happens with men who are in their 60s, I would give it like mid 60s, is that we're opposite. Women and men do not, men have all this great sexual drive in their 20s, and then the women pick it up, and then they get horny, and then there's menopause for women, and that we're always off track, always off.
Right.
It's true. Aware of being off track. So when I was in my 60s, and when my David died, and we had a good sex life and then I was single and I went online, and I did that for 9 months, and that was interesting. But what I learned was men in their 60s, you have to have conversation with them. If they're not getting an erection, then you got to sit down. You got to say, well, we got some options here. What do you want to do about it?
Right.
And if you don't want to do anything about it, that's fine. Let's find another way. I'm so direct.
You are.
I hate to waste time.
Sure.
Hate time wasting.
Yeah.
So in the last 20 years, that's what I've kind of been dealing with. Men get older, and then nothing works. So, I have a favorite. I gotta give that to my last boyfriend in LA. He was fabulous. I'll tell you the story because you'll never see him. Anyway, he's kind of famous, so I won't tell you his name.
Okay.
But, when that happened and we had the first encounter, and he said, Joan, you deserve more than this. He went out, got daily Cialis.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Not, what's the other one?
Viagra. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't like that. And then he taught me he taught me a lot, and we talked, and he was pretty fluid in that. So I was
telling you what to do to him to make him.
No, just, about the various and sundry things you can do to have a better sex life.
Wow.
So if a guy doesn't want to take anything, what you have is intimacy. Mm-hmm. And intimacy replaces the sex act. Sex act with intimacy, but it doesn't require an erection.
Mm.
Get my drift. So it changes.
Yeah.
And here's another thing I learned. You better have a lot to say to each other. You better have a lot. Because if you don't have a lot in common, there ain't nothing there.
Mm. Wow.
And for me, if you can't talk politics, and you can't talk writing, and you can't talk film or theater,
So mutual interest.
Yeah. I have male friends at various stages. I have to have male energy. I love male energy.
Mm-hmm.
So I figure it out as I go along.
Sounds like you figure everything out. You're just not afraid to take life by the balls.
Well, not to mention that Joan is also a mother and a grandmother.
I have 5 grandchildren, 4 boys, 1 girl. They're all fabulous.
You have a lot of male energy around you.
Oh, yeah.
You produced a lot of male offspring.
I have 2 boys, 5 grandchildren. I'm adoring watching them grow up. One just went to Tulane. It's really
all right.
exciting.
So talk to us about a couple of things that we are very interested in as we are getting older, which is hormone replacement and Botox and procedures.
All right.
Buckle up.
You can go to a homeopath and they can put you on supplements for your estrogen. Okay, that's that. I chose not to. I chose to use a suggestion that my gynecologist in Santa Monica gave to me. And it's a product called Prempro, or in Europe, it's called Premique. And it's a very low dosage of estrogen progesterone.
Mm-hmm. I
had no side effects. I loved it. It was great. Still use it.
And you weren't afraid of the breast cancer scare?
No. I already had some fibroids in my breast that I got rid of. It's a menopausal thing. Like, you can get fibroids. We named them and then he removed them. That's how I do it.
How long have you been on the Prempro? When did you go through menopause? Is that when you started?
I said, no, I didn't. I didn't take anything. I was like Miss Natural forever.
So you went through menopause naturally. You didn't take anything for menopause.
I did some magnesium because it takes your temperature down.
Mm-hmm.
Not right, Lisa. So we learned all this before. I mean, menopause was 48 to 52. And I got real dumb. I love this story, but who was it? There was an author who wrote all about menopause. It was Passages. It's called Passages.
Yeah, my mom had that book. I just remember it from the bookshelf.
Oh my God, that was my Bible. And then they said, you'll get dumb and you'll lose your memory. And boy, she was right. And then she said, but you'll get smarter.
Mm.
And on the other side, life began.
Wow.
Great. I mean, all of our lives have passed. I have 10 passages probably, but this one was like, and here's what I did when I was that age. I started to take up Argentine tango every Tuesday night at the studio in West LA across from Mount Sinai. I mean, Cedar Sinai. Mm-hmm. I went to the dancing class and I took tango, and I danced tango for 30 years. And I went
That's what I remember about you.
Yeah, I went to Argentina 13 times and danced my ass off in every joint there was there. And it was a great run. It really was. Now, country western interests me more than the constraints of tango. Mm. Yeah, I feel it's friendlier. I feel it's more joyful than the dirge. My friend used to say it's a dirgy sound. It's like the dirge. And we were dancing. I mean, I used to teach him tango on every Friday at a shoemaker's on Santa Monica Boulevard. The shoemaker put a floor in for us, and we do an hour from 4 to 5 on Friday, and then we go to get margaritas.
I remember you dancing tango at Robin's wedding, and I really enjoyed watching you.
You always have something new going on.
That's the inspiration here from Joan. Like, she gets an interest in something and she does it. Like, it's really inspired me to pursue my dream of writing right now, So thank you for that, Joan.
Here's the thing. Here's a mantra. You only go around this world once that you know of. That you know of.
That you know of.
Yeah. Pile it in, do it, organize it. I find the organization to be very meditative in the sense that I don't get lost. Mm. Now, I mean, of course, I have days I get lost. I mean, that's for sure. But generally, I'm not getting lost, if I can help it.
Wow. Okay, so let's get back. So Prempro, what else?
Prempro has a little bit of estrogen and progesterone. Low dose. Okay. I mean, very
low dose.
And I get it from a company in the United Kingdom. Fine. Because Americans sell it for like $175, and this Prem Pro lasts me forever. It's $60. I mean, so I found that out.
Okay. What else?
Why do you look so good?
Yeah, what do you
How
do?
come you don't look like at all like you're going to be 80? Why does your skin look so good? Why do you look so
I am a slave. I'm a slave twice a day to slathering myself with my ablutions. I love Kiehl's. I've been a Kiehl's girl forever. Santa Monica store.
Mm-hmm.
That was my store. And they years and years and years and years ago taught me their products. I love their products. And I've changed a little bit. I've gone different places depending on, what's happening, trying to get rid of, some dark circles or whatever. So I do that. And I wash my face twice a day and put tons of stuff on it.
What about procedures or little enhancements?
I believe in Botox. I mean, if you want to get it, I believe in it. I believe in small procedures, like lower. If you want to do lower, that's a lovely thing. You just look fresh. And if you want to put money, not a face, it's called a partial.
Well, my friend just did it. She looks really good. I'll tell you.
Now I just found out that there's another product instead of Botox is some other product that people have said work really well, especially when you have falling jaws.
Mm-hmm. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
What do you mean falling jaws?
That's the killer.
There's so many killers. But if I'm going to be 80, I'm going to treat myself.
Damn straight.
I give myself gifts.
But so much of your beauty, Joan, is what you emanate. It's not even, I mean, you're beautiful physically, but like what you emanate is just incredible. It's infectious.
Well, thank you for that. I was always in school. I was always the funny one.
Humor.
When I was going into the 5th grade, I fell off a railing in an apartment complex courtyard and chipped my front tooth. And so it was gangbusters after that. I just had a ball with my hole in it. That was my defense mechanism, is my humor. Finally, I got something on it. But yeah, and I learned that again. I said to my mom, I'm not going to be a movie star anymore. She said, knock it off, Joni.
What's on Joan's agenda for the next 20 years?
I see myself in the next 2 years, and I'm giving a two-year thing to strategize and just continue work. I believe in this book. I believe in the stories that I'm telling. The Accidental Cuban is supposed to be a series. I don't know what this executive producer is doing. I have no idea, but I get it back. And when I get it back, I'm going to do it. As time passes, you begin to accept what is in the moment.
Are you still writing and speaking as well? Because I know you've done a lot of public speaking for corporations and you were writing for Huffington Post. Are you still going to continue to do those things, you think?
No, I've not done them since a couple when I first moved here. It doesn't interest me anymore.
Okay.
And I actually don't think, I look at my stuff and I think, dated.
So you're on to the next thing.
It so doesn't interest me to be doing that. I loved it when I did it. And then.
Well, when we started our conversation, we might not have even officially started our conversation. You said you have no regrets.
Mm-hmm.
So there's nothing you wish that you had done that you haven't done yet.
Time, place, and situation. They're there.
What does that mean?
It's because it's a given. You are where you are. I'm not going to look back and say, oh, I shouldn't have dated that guy. I shouldn't have dated that one guy. Whatever. But it's like acceptance. And learn this yoga, acceptance, be in the present. That changed my life. It took down my anger. It took down my, this anxiety, and it put me in a place of comfort. I'm not running a race with myself, and I think if I made a mistake, then I learned from it.
Right, you're accepting what is.
Yeah, that's it. I can't, people say, oh, I shouldn't have done that. Well, no, I came to Austin 7.5 years ago because my time in LA was over. Yeah. Literally over. There was nothing left there. You would know the same thing, Lisa. Nothing was there for me. I couldn't retire there. I couldn't do it. I would have still be in some tango community. It was just lethargic and boring. And I just had.
Well, and your son had moved to Austin.
Yeah, he had
closer to family, right?
Yeah, and I was and yeah, we have a great relationship. These kids are one's in high school, one's in middle school. It's great. It's fun. I know we are who we are. You know. Mm-hmm. Being famous or being out there in front, I had all those years. I was an actress for 25 years. So
do you think you'll write a book about living your life well, about aging well? Do you think you'll write a guide for the rest of us?
I wouldn't be adverse to it, Lisa. But right now, got to get these things off the table.
You're busy.
I do. You know, I'm the most... I'm passionate about the social issue of senior addiction. Extraordinarily passionate about it. And this isn't a situation where doctors ignore old women who are alcoholics. And really, if you look at the statistics of alcoholism of boomers, it's like, oh my God, it's horrible.
Wow, I didn't know that. Yeah.
Oh yeah, people know it's a disease. It's horrible. So, and then the one I just finished, apropos of our situation today with Israel and anti-Semitism in America, which is on the rise, as well as anti-Black hate. I thought I had something to say in this book about a woman who hides her Jewish.
That's the book that you just finished.
Yeah, and it's at Agents now.
So what's it called?
Suddenly I was Jewish.
She literally never told you you were Jewish.
My dad was Catholic, but he was a Jack Catholic. He didn't like the Catholic Church either. So wasn't a lot of religion going on. But I went to Catholic school for, all those years. She told me when I was 19 but she said it this way: your grandmother's Jewish. Oh. And I said, Ma, you don't skip a generation.
Right.
Doesn't happen that way. You are in the chain and you cannot get out.
If your mother's Jewish, you're Jewish.
Which is, nope, I'm nothing. I went, okay, you're nothing, but you're telling me I'm something. And do you know how many stories I've heard about this? Not just mine. Everybody I tell this to, they go, oh, my so-and-so and so-and-so and so. So there is a link. There is a legacy of
well, yeah, that was my reaction because my husband's grandmother came to this country and to avoid religious persecution became a Baptist.
I just read that Tom Stoppard, the great playwright, did not find out until he was 60 because his parents came out of when the Nazis were coming in Vienna, Austria. There are plenty of stories in that country that I read autobiographies, and I read so many memoirs about this during the Holocaust and the 30s and 40s. And they went and lived someplace else and changed their name. Mm-hmm. And he did not know it. And that's his last play. It's called Leopoldstadt. That play is all about that. This is my passion. This was writing the book for over a year and doing the research. And it's a historical memoir about San Francisco. I think I told you that backdrop is the Fillmore district.
I think what's interesting about this book that you've written is that it's a memoir, but it's in your mother's voice.
I actually had a really good editor, a developmental editor on this when I first wrote it. I couldn't go any farther because I needed some feedback. And she said, Joan, you have three voices here. You have your grandma Rose from Odessa, and you have your mother, and you have you. So it's in three parts. And then I said, but you're not supposed to do that. And she said to me, what? You can do anything you want.
Is there any last advice you can? So Lisa and I are 55 and 60. What can we do to be like you when we're 80?
Take possession of yourself, because no one else is going to do it.